Ethan has two families. Every night after I fall asleep, he would sneak off to his first love's residence with their child to stage a scene of family reunion. Everyone, including his parents, helped him keep it a secret from me. Because they knew that Ethan loved me dearly. If I discovered this, I would divorce him without hesitation, and he couldn't bear such a blow. But no secret stays hidden forever. On the day I took my little niece to the amusement park, I saw Ethan with his left arm around his first love and his right arm holding a little boy. "Dad, when are you going to abandon that barren hen and bring me and Mom home?" Ethan helplessly kissed his cheek. "Don't say that about Aunt Emma. Once Dad handles everything, I'll bring Ryan and Mom home." My mind went blank as I incredulously watched the sweet scene of the family of three. The boy, who looked almost identical to Ethan, constantly reminded me. The man who had knelt before me in tears, professing lifelong love, had another family outside. I felt chilled all over, trembling as I hid aside. Upon receiving the message, my brother hurried over and held my pale face. "Emma, what's wrong?" "Bella said your emotions seemed off." "What happened?" I bit my lip hard, my fingers trembling as I pointed in Ethan's direction. "This is..." My brother, eyes wide with rage, was about to rush over to confront him, but I pulled him back. "Brother, don't go. Help me investigate," when Ethan and that woman started. After my brother left, I sat numbly on a bench in the amusement park. My phone rang with the special ringtone I set for Ethan. It was a photo of him in a meeting. My heart ached beyond measure, and looking at his messages "miss you" and "love you," I only felt disgusted. Ethan had always been a workaholic. But whether on business trips or overtime, he always reported in advance and shared his itinerary. Though unspoken, it made me feel sweet inside, and I never doubted the authenticity of those photos. But at this moment, the man who claimed to be in a meeting was standing right in front of me, embracing his first love Zoe in a deep kiss. The surrounding people cheered, and their son Ryan clapped happily on the side. What a warm and loving scene if the protagonist weren't my husband. Due to our dink lifestyle choice, shortly after marriage, I often faced resentment and sarcasm from his mother. But suddenly one day, Evelyn seemed less anxious. Ethan also became exceptionally busy from then on. In our 6-year marriage, I had been deceived for a full 5 years. It wasn't until late at night that Ethan called me, his tone gentle. "Honey, do you miss me?" "Oh, this meeting is really long, it's been going on forever, and there's more to come. I won't be able to go back and accompany you tonight. Once this busy period is over, I'll take some time to accompany you to Hawaii for relaxation, okay?" I sat on the sofa, watching Ethan ramble on. Though he appeared gentle, he never gave me a glance from start to finish. I didn't need to think to know where he was and who was lying beside him. "Why aren't you speaking? Are you angry?" He finally noticed something was wrong and saw my reddened eyes. "What's wrong, baby? Why are your eyes so red? Did someone bully you?" "Wait for me, I'm coming back right now. I won't attend this damn meeting." If it were before, I would sensibly comfort him and let him focus on work. But now, I willfully said, "Okay, come back. I miss you." As expected, Ethan was stunned, his eyes evasive. "Emma, you miss me? But today's meeting is very important. I have to stay." "Be good, I'll definitely go back to see you tomorrow, okay?" This was the first time I didn't respond to him. "Remember to eat, don't starve yourself. Don't make me worry about you outside." "That's it, they're calling me. I have to go. Love you, wife." Before I could respond, his figure disappeared from the other end of the call, turning pitch black. As I was about to hang up, Zoe's coquettish call came through. "Ah, Ethan, you're so naughty, the child is still here. Don't bully me." I violently smashed the phone against the wall. Unable to hold back anymore, I ran into the bathroom and vomited. Tears mixed with vomit fell into the drain, my heart aching as if suffocating. I could no longer restrain myself and cried loudly, crying until my limbs went numb and I fainted in the bathroom. The phone ring woke me, still lying on the cold floor. Emma, I found out. That child is named Ryan, 5 years old, birthday on June 26th. My brother's tone carried anger. That child's birthday was our wedding anniversary. That meant they had been entangled even on my wedding day. The man who claimed to love me with his life, who didn't care if I bore children, not only cheated behind my back but also had another family. Vomit, I hugged the toilet, nearly throwing up my bile, my heart aching and numb, pressing so hard I couldn't breathe. Looking at the offer from the foreign university on my phone, I made a decision in my heart. Originally, I planned to give up the opportunity for further studies for Ethan, but now it seemed unnecessary. Brother, I want to divorce Ethan. My brother acted quickly. By early morning, he sent over the drafted divorce agreement. Emma, don't be afraid. Be brave and move forward, your family will always be your backing. My nose tingled, and I wanted to cry again. Clearly, the Gu and Lu families had so many business ties, but my brother didn't care, he only cared if I was happy. I didn't sleep all night, exhaustedly leaning on the sofa in a daze. When Ethan came in, he saw me in this haggard and vacant state. He suddenly hugged me, his eyes filled with anxiety. Emma, wife, what's wrong? Don't scare me. I truly had no strength to respond to him, smelling the strong perfume on him and the deliberately covered hickeys on his neck, I couldn't help but shed tears. Ethan, will you always love me? Of course. Ethan will always love Emma, this is my lifelong promise. He said it without hesitation, the affection in his eyes not seeming fake. I sent you so many messages last night, and you didn't reply, I was worried sick. I rushed back right after the meeting. Do you say I don't love you? I was about to speak when out of the corner of my eye, I glimpsed Zoe at the window holding the child, smiling triumphantly at me, her lips vaguely forming the words you lost. I began to dry heave violently, unable to control it. Emma. Ethan anxiously picked me up and rushed to the hospital. The doctor looked at him with slight reproach. Your wife is pregnant, how could you let her get so emotionally agitated? You're not fulfilling your duties as a husband. I dazedly touched my lower abdomen, so the previous preparations for pregnancy had worked. But baby, you came at such an inopportune time. Ethan, aren't you happy? I looked at his somewhat sorrowful expression and deliberately asked. He forced a smile, his eyes gentle. How could I not be? Wait for me, I'll go ask the doctor about precautions. After Ethan left, Zoe pushed the door open. I coldly watched her provocative smile. It seems you already know, that saves trouble. I heard you're pregnant. How about we bet on which one Ethan will choose? The Ryan he's doted on for 5 years, or the embryo in your belly whose gender is unknown? I'll show Miss Emma a good show. I didn't speak. Soon, Ethan's pained voice sounded outside. Zoe. Where are you taking Ryan? Woo-woo, now that you have your own child, it's time for Ryan and me to leave. I can't destroy your family. The door was ajar, as if Zoe deliberately staged it for me to see. I know you've been good to me because of Ryan. But I don't want my child to be an illegitimate son who can't see the light. Ethan, please pity me and let us go. Ethan heartachefully embraced the tear-streaked Zoe. No, Ryan is my son, I won't let him become an illegitimate child. Zoe, Emma is my wife, but you are my child's mother. I can't betray Emma, and Ryan can't leave you, so don't go. Stay, okay? I'll find a way, for you and for Ryan, I'll find a way. Through the door, I saw the undisguised love in Ethan's eyes, biting my lip until it bled without noticing. I waited until the doctor discharged me, but Ethan never appeared again. Looking at the heavy rain outside, I rushed into the downpour without hesitation. The phone rang for a long time, it was Ethan calling, but I didn't answer any. After returning home, coquettish sounds from Zoe came from the master bedroom. She was holding her child, lying on the bed that belonged to Ethan and me. I kicked the door open fiercely, a flash of panic crossed Ethan's eyes. Wife, don't misunderstand, let me explain. She's my mom's goddaughter, just back from abroad, staying with us temporarily. Zoe looked at me triumphantly. Ryan suddenly ran over and hugged Ethan, saying in a childish voice, "Dad, didn't you pick me up to go home? Why is it temporary stay? Does Dad not want me anymore?" Seeing my face turn pale instantly, Ethan quickly hugged me. "Emma, no, I called you earlier to talk about this. Mom insists we adopt this child, saying Zoe is a widow with a child and easily discriminated against. I had no choice. Anyway, you didn't want children, so how about we abort and then adopt him?" I looked at him incredulously. "Ethan, do you know what you're saying? You want me to abort my own child and then adopt someone else's? You might as well kill me." Ethan was startled by my anger and didn't react for a moment. Okay, we won't adopt, we won't. Don't be angry, okay? I said that because you previously didn't want children. If you don't want to, we'll have our own. Don't cry, I'll send him away tomorrow, okay? I looked at him disappointedly, picked up my bag from the table, and went to the guest room. Through the wall, I heard his voice, "Zoe, tomorrow take Ryan to Mom's for a couple of days. Emma is unhappy, I can't force her. But Ethan, no matter what you do this time, I won't forgive you. I don't want you anymore." The next day, as soon as I stepped out of the room, I saw Zoe leaning against the wall in my pajamas. On her neck was the one-of-a-kind necklace Ethan gave me at our wedding. Given to my only wife, representing all my love. That's what Ethan told me, but now it was on someone else. "Emma, you heard it too, Ethan doesn't want the one in your belly at all. You should step aside early. Ryan will be his only child, and I will be Ethan's rightful wife." I walked into the room, slapped the divorce agreement on her face, and said sarcastically, "You heard it too, Ethan only acknowledges me as his only wife. If you're capable, make him divorce me." If I had a way to make him divorce you, would I have waited all these years? Zoe was emotionally agitated, her face pale. "Then you'll always be a shameful mistress, and your son will be an illegitimate child for life. As long as I'm here for a day, I won't let your son step into the Gu family." Zoe was stimulated by my words, her eyes full of bloodshot. "Good, very good, you forced me." After she left, my phone received booking information. 3 days later, a flight to Sweden. I didn't touch anything in the master bedroom, only taking my documents. Anyway, it had all been defiled by others, I didn't care for it. The next day, as I was preparing to leave, Zoe rushed forward and slapped me. Behind her were anxious Ethan and Evelyn. "Where's Ryan? What did you do to Ryan? You vicious woman. Where did you hide my son?" I fell to the ground in disarray, protecting my belly. "You're crazy. How could I possibly know where your son is?" Unexpectedly, she directly choked my neck. "It must be you. You kidnapped Ryan because Ethan wants to acknowledge this child. You're afraid he'll take away Ethan's love. So you hid him." I was choked and couldn't speak, but I knew clearly in my heart. Zoe must be directing and acting in a play to frame me, so I could rightfully be kicked out of the Gu family. "Please. I'll leave, give Ryan back to me." While I was stunned, Ethan had already rushed over to hug the tearful Zoe. "Emma, say it quickly. Where's the child? Emma. How could you harm a child? Say it quickly. Otherwise, don't blame me for not acknowledging you as my daughter-in-law." Looking at the 3 people constantly questioning me, I only felt it laughable. "I don't know where your child is, I won't admit to something I didn't do." Ethan was provoked by my words and slapped me across the face. "Emma. Don't force me." After the rage, seeing the red mark on my face, he spoke heartachefully, "Emma, wife, I didn't mean it, you, just tell me where the child is, okay?" I sneered, "You're so anxious because that's your biological son?" Ethan's body stiffened. Just as he was about to explain, Evelyn interrupted. "You bitch. Won't say, huh? Then I'll have people beat you until you do." 5 or 6 bodyguards rushed over, pinned me down, and punched me one by one. Ethan just stood there, turning his head away, unwilling to look. Soon, I felt a sharp pain in my lower abdomen, and a pool of blood gathered beneath me. The child, No wonder I kept feeling nauseous lately. The assistant rushed in hurriedly. Ethan, the child is found, in the basement of the suburban villa. Without glancing at me, they left with the bodyguards. I despairingly called Ethan's name, but he didn't turn back once. The pain in my lower abdomen finally made me faint. Sorry, baby, Mom couldn't protect you. When I woke up again, I was in the hospital. Ethan, with stubble, sat by the bed. Emma, you're awake. I palely withdrew my hand, looking at Zoe and Ryan not far away, and said coldly, what? Found your son, so you came to pity me for losing the child? Ethan's face stiffened, and he spoke with a pained expression. Emma, Mom didn't know you were pregnant, she was worried about Ryan. Don't be like this, okay? Anyway, this child was just an accident, let's pretend he never existed, okay? Mom acted because she was worried about Ryan. The pain in my lower abdomen constantly reminded me of Ethan's heartlessness. Your mom didn't know, but didn't you know either? Besides, actually, in your heart, you were hoping this child would be gone. Ethan was speechless, but I knew him too well. I understood his silent admission at this moment. But once, he would cry in heartache even if I scraped a bit of skin. Now, for Zoe, for that child, he watched me being beaten to miscarriage. Even now, you still think only I had the motive to kidnap this child, right? I sneered, pointing at Zoe angrily. Couldn't it be her directing and acting to frame me? Enough. Ethan immediately stood in front of Zoe, looking at me with unfamiliar eyes. Emma, I forgive your jealousy and selfishness, your child is gone too, and the Gu family can't be without an heir. So from today, this child will call me Dad, whether you accept it or not, this fact won't change. Looking at his matter-of-fact appearance, I only felt he was so unfamiliar. From just now until now, he hadn't asked once if I was in pain, showed no grief over losing the child. Instead, he blamed me, distrusted me, and forced me to accept his illegitimate child. Ethan no longer looked at me, leaving me a cold back view. I'll take the child back first, you reflect on yourself properly. After they left, I touched the document under the pillow. It was the divorce agreement I gave to Zoe. I suddenly laughed out loud. Ethan, you're so ruthless, I really hate you. Wiping away tears, I walked out of the hospital and headed to the airport. Ethan, this time I can truly leave you without any attachments. Back home, Ethan always felt uneasy inside. Was he too excessive just now, saying such harsh words? Moreover, I had just lost the child. Ethan, what are you thinking? Zoe hugged Ethan from behind, emanating a faint scent of my perfume. Ethan had a moment of daze and subconsciously blurted out, Emma. Zoe's face darkened instantly. Ethan had almost personally harmed his own child for Ryan, why would he still call my name? Zoe, sorry, I'm very tired today, take Ryan to the guest room to sleep, okay? Ethan suddenly didn't want Zoe to sleep on the bed that belonged to him and me. Is Ethan sad because of what he said to Miss Emma today? Is it that Ryan and I are disturbing you? Zoe looked desolate, tears falling uncontrollably. I understand, once Miss Emma is discharged, I'll take Ryan far away. Anyway, she's willing to bear children for you now, Ryan doesn't need to exist. Ethan, I love you, but I can't destroy your family, I'll leave now. Ethan pulled Zoe, who was pretending to leave, into his arms, his eyes full of struggle. Don't go, Zoe. I didn't mean that, please don't go, stay here with me. He loved me, but he still couldn't let go of Zoe. Let him indulge one more time, Zoe loved him so much, how could he bear to let her leave in such pain and sorrow? As for me, I was his wife, the partner he wanted to grow old with, he wouldn't let go. He would compensate me properly. Looking at Zoe's eyes full of affection, Ethan finally couldn't resist and kissed her. Zoe's lips curled into an imperceptible smile. The two tangled on our bed for a day and a night. On the third day, sated Ethan finally remembered me still in the hospital. He held Ryan, pulled Zoe, and went to the hospital to pick me up and go home. Ryan, from now on, when you see Aunt Emma, call her Mom, got it? Ethan repeatedly instructed Ryan. As long as I softened and agreed, he would find a way to balance both sides. I don't want to. She's a bad woman. She bullies Mom. I don't want her to be my mom. Ryan cried loudly. Ethan irritably rubbed his forehead. Enough. Don't you understand what I say? Ryan was scared by his serious expression, crying and throwing himself into Zoe's arms, but Ethan wouldn't let him off. I'll say it again. From now on, Aunt Emma is your mom, got it? I lost a child, so Ethan wanted to give me one back, perhaps then we could reconcile and have no more conflicts. At the hospital, Ethan's heart pounded fiercely. Not seeing me for days, he really missed me. He rushed into the ward in a few strides, raising a smile. Wife. I came to pick you up. Home. But the ward was empty, with no sign of me. He hurriedly rushed to the nurse station and asked anxiously, the patient in bed 15. Where did she go? The nurse looked at Ethan with a strange expression. You mean the miscarriage patient? She was discharged 3 days ago. You're her husband, right? You didn't know? Ethan staggered back a few steps, his eyes full of disbelief. How could, impossible. How could I leave silently? It must be the Liu family who picked me up. It must be. Right, the patient said if you come, give this to you. Ethan tremblingly opened the file bag. The bright red divorce agreement deeply pierced his eyes. He flipped fiercely to the last page. It already had both his and my signatures. The last clause read, Ms. Emma will divorce Mr. Ethan at all costs. Just the cold words already made Ethan feel my resoluteness. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, his body swaying unsteadily. Seeing this, Zoe quickly stepped forward to support him. Ethan. What's wrong? Where's Miss Emma? Where did she go? She knew better than anyone what was in the file bag. With me gone, she had no obstacles and could rightfully enter the Gu family. For the first time, Ethan shook off Zoe and rushed impatiently to the Liu family. I must have gone home. He was going to the Liu family to ask clearly. My brother Mason had been waiting for Ethan. Seeing his panicked expression, he wasn't surprised. You're here, sit down. I know what you want to say. Where is she? Is she at home? Make her come out. I want to see her. Ethan couldn't sit still. He stood up abruptly, pacing anxiously. He thought I was just throwing a tantrum in the hospital, and coaxing me would be fine. He even thought, once Ryan's matter was handled properly, he would compensate me well for that accidental lost child. The lawyer stepped forward, businesslike, taking out documents. Mr. Ethan, we cannot disclose Ms. Emma's specific whereabouts. As Ms. Emma's entrusted agent, the Liu family respects all of Ms. Emma's decisions. We have already obtained evidence of your marital infidelity and illegitimate child. If you don't want it to get too ugly, please handle the divorce procedures as soon as possible. Ethan was struck as if by lightning. What did the lawyer mean? His Emma would rather sever all collaborations between the two families to divorce him? But he had only committed a mistake that all men make. No, brother, the Liu and Gu families have so many collaborations, it's impossible to cut them off just like that. Let me see Emma, okay? I really know I was wrong. But Mason looked at him with extremely cold eyes. Moreover, Emma just had a miscarriage, her body hasn't recovered, she needs my care. Let me see her. Let me see her. Care? Mason sneered, his tone mocking. When she was beaten to miscarriage by the bodyguards your mom instructed, where were you? You were embracing your illegitimate child and that woman in affection, while she lay on the cold floor miscarrying, where were you? When she was alone in the hospital, in so much pain she couldn't even drink water, where were you? Can't say? Then I'll say. You were busy acknowledging your good son. Ethan, is your care forcing her to death? Ethan was speechless. Immense guilt and the fear of losing me deeply invaded his heart. I didn't know she was pregnant. I really didn't know. My mom was worried about the child too. Didn't know? Mason smashed the cup on the ground fiercely, looking at Ethan angrily. Ethan, Do you really think you can hide everything, concealing your dirty deeds perfectly? That bastard's birthday is June 26th, 5 years old this year. Married for 6 years, you deceived my sister for 6 years. Letting her be played like a fool by your whole family, watching her give up further studies for you, watching her be bullied by your mom for not wanting children, living cautiously, were you particularly happy? And you? These 6 years, you had a child with another woman, running between 2 families. Ethan, I'm tired just thinking for you. Ethan's chest tightened. He weakly knelt on the ground, his face pale. So I knew everything, knew about Zoe's existence, knew about Ryan's existence. No wonder that day when he came back, I asked him, Ethan, will you love me forever? How did he answer? He said he only had me in his heart and would love me forever. What was I feeling then? Seeing him and Zoe kissing and playing in the amusement park, watching their family of 3 in reunion. No. Emma. Ethan painfully covered his head, his voice hoarse. His heart felt like it was being gripped tightly, hurting to the point of breathlessness. Recalling my pale face that day, my trembling fingers, all my abnormalities and silence, what was he doing then? He was using lies to cover other lies, ignoring her feelings time and again to appease Zoe and his mother, even tacitly approving his mother's beating of her. That child, it was Zoe. Ethan opened and closed his mouth, trying to explain something, but his tone was so guilty he didn't even believe himself. Actually, you know in your heart that the child's incident was Zoe's self-directed play to frame Emma. Mason finished for him, his voice full of sarcasm. Ethan, do you still want to protect that bitch in front of me? Do you need me to pull out the home surveillance for you? Or do you want me to post it online for everyone to see how the president of Goo Group condoned his mistress kidnapping his own son to frame his wife? Or do you want everyone to see how you watched your own wife being beaten to miscarriage without batting an eye? After saying that, Mason kicked Ethan hard to the ground. Ethan, as if feeling no pain, let Mason beat him. The pain on his body was nothing compared to 1/10,000th of the pain in his heart. Emma, my child. Get out. Don't let me see you again. Ethan searched for my whereabouts like mad. He went to all places I might go, contacted all friends I might contact, even humbled himself to beg the Liu family, only getting deeper humiliation and silence. Zoe, however, brought Ryan and moved into the Goo family with the posture of the future mistress. She thought she had waited until the clouds parted, but found Ethan's gaze on her growing colder day by day, even with hatred. Ethan, Ryan misses you. Zoe used Ryan again to attract Ethan, but this time, Ethan fiercely shook off her hand, his eyes vicious. What? Can't go a day without a man? I ask you, Zoe, was Ryan's disappearance that time you're doing? Zoe's face paled, forcing composure. Ethan, what are you saying? Wasn't Ryan kidnapped by that vicious woman Emma? How can you question me? I'm Ryan's mom. Ethan sneered, suddenly choking her neck. You think I'd question you without evidence? Zoe, if you don't want me to send you to prison, confess honestly. Zoe was scared by the ruthlessness in Ethan's eyes, speaking in terror. I did it for Ryan. For our son to have a status. Ethan, I love you. Love me? Ethan's eyes became desperate, his hand exerting more force. Your love is making me personally kill my child. Making me lose Emma forever? I give you 2 hours, take that bastard and get out of the Goo family. I'll give you child support, but if you want more, I'll leave you with nothing. Evelyn, who hurried over, bitterly protested against letting Zoe go. Ethan. Ryan is your son. Mom. Ethan looked at Evelyn with red eyes. Have you ever thought that the child in Emma's belly was my legitimate child? When she was beaten to miscarriage, you didn't show any mercy. Ethan drove everyone away. All traces of me in the master bedroom had been thrown away by Zoe. This time, he couldn't find even a trace. He dialed my phone over and over, sent messages over and over to the already blocked Facebook. Emma, sorry, I was wrong, please come back. I found out it was Zoe's conspiracy, I drove them away. I love you, Emma, I really can't live without you, Please, give me one chance, just one. I ignored everything happening back home and studied abroad alone for a full 2 years. Research is my lifelong pursuit, the field where I can shine. Love failed me, betrayed me, but knowledge won't, academia won't. At an internationally renowned seminar, my paper received praise from the entire audience. Thunderous applause and lights illuminated my confident face. I was no longer someone's wife, someone's daughter-in-law. I was Emma, an ordinary person shining in the scientific community. There's a gentleman, says he's an old acquaintance, wants to see you. The assistant said cautiously, he looks, not too good. My smile faded, and I had a guess in my heart. It was only natural for Ethan to find here. I knew he couldn't give up just like that. He had lost weight, become stubbly, emanating a decadent aura. The once well-fitted suit now hung loosely on him, only his eyes looking at me were filled with madness and pain. Emma. His voice was hoarse, his trembling hand wanting to hug me, but I dodged. Mr. Ethan, is there something? My tone was calm, as if the person before me was a stranger. Mister? Have we become so distant? Ethan self-mockingly smiled bitterly, forcefully hugging me into his arms. What are you doing? Let go. I struggled violently, slapping him across the face, looking at him with eyes full of wariness. Ethan's throat seemed blocked, unable to say anything. Emma, I've been looking for you for a long time. I was wrong, I know I was outrageously wrong, I deserve death. I don't ask for your forgiveness, I only beg you, let me see you, let me know if you're doing well. His eyes greedily looked at me, carrying deep love and regret. His Emma had become more and more dazzling, like a diamond sparkling under lights, but all this had nothing to do with him. I'm doing very well. I see, you're shining in your field of expertise. Ethan's voice carried a sob, his eyes red. I came to say sorry to you. Emma, I'm sorry to our child. I'm a bastard. I was blind and heartless. I harmed you. He painfully covered his face, his shoulders shaking violently. I stood there overlooking his breakdown, without a ripple in my heart. Does it hurt? It hurt once, those heart-wrenching pains tormented me for a long time. I remember every night woken by nightmares. Remember the pain of being beaten, the helplessness of the child flowing from my body, the heartlessness of the deeply loved husband. Ethan's current breakdown is just because the matter was exposed, unwilling that I escaped his